What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Okay, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I've had a chance to sleep on it. I've had a chance to chat with some folks on it over the phone and obviously in Discord and all that. And I want to just further clarify my thoughts and also give a solution that I think could be helpful, or maybe two solutions. One of which that I mentioned yesterday, which was the OTC, but there's a better solution which I think of as a value add rather than a perceived value removal, or even value removal for some folks. But we're gonna jump into that. So for folks who may not have been following, I did drop a video talking about these two governance proposals to bring node licenses in DEC and SPS in DEC. And I'm still very much against them. I don't like the idea of what they are trying to do. Now, again, to strongman the other side's argument, at the end of the day, what the team is trying to do is bring as much value to DEC as possible to get it back to its peg. And therefore, that drives value to SPS through the burn mechanism, because anytime we go above the peg, then SPS gets burned, and that's great for everybody and all the SPS holders. In theory, I love that, right? That's a great idea, and I think that we should be moving towards that, and definitely for all future pack releases, I think this is something that should very much be considered to do. The problem is that licenses came out in May of this year, and Rift Watchers was announced last year in December for SPS as a way to fund the DAO. So as a way to fund the DAO and as a way to use all of, or to give SPS this utility. And I guess the biggest issue that I have with this coming in is, for the entire past year, since December of last year, we were in the first parts of the bear market, but we didn't realize that, this was it. The bull run was completely over. This is in December. Prices had tanked. Everybody was buying the dip, thinking that, it was going to be all right. We're going to make another run at it at some point. But obviously that never happened. So there was a post in which Matt talked about, giving SPS utility, or all the ways that SPS was going to get utility in 2022. And again, the biggest part was SPS being the currency, or the token to purchase Rift Watchers, and the only currency to purchase Rift Watchers. That would fund the DAO. That would give SPS some utility. And again, it was highlighted as one of the biggest utilities that SPS would have for 2022. Granted, that was 10 months ago. And I can understand that so much has changed in the landscape since then. So I don't want to hold the team to that. But I do still want to recognize that the utility of this was to fund the DAO with SPS. It was supposed to have hopefully an appreciating asset rather than DEC. And it was to give, it was to give SPS this utility. So now they're trying to transfer this utility over to DEC mid-sale. And again, I can understand the broader argument. It doesn't feel right like a month after the pre-sale. You go to nodes, we've talked about that already. And again, I don't want to regurgitate everything that I was saying yesterday. What I'm trying to get at here as a potential solution. All right, and I would love to get your feedback on this, because I'm going to run some numbers here, and I would love to be proven wrong, or I would love for you to let me know if I'm heading in the right direction. At least use the hive mind to come up with the best solution possible, because that's what I love about this project the most, is the community. So the way that I'm thinking about this is, instead of the team doing something that has been as damaging as this is, right? And here's probably the biggest takeaway that I've seen from community sentiment. Just posting this, right? Just posting this has shaken the faith of a lot of your most ardent supporters within the community, right? People who have been around for a while, people who have spent a ton of money, people who are highly invested in the game, right? They just look around map chat, look around the comments of the other video. So just posting this, there was damage done already. So how you walk that back, or how you navigate it, I don't know, right? And I guess I'm talking to the team here, but really I'm talking to the community. How the team ends up walking that back, I don't know, because again, the next couple of days and weeks are going to be interesting, or whenever we get that AMA with Matt is going to be very interesting to see how they are thinking through this and how they respond to what the community's concerns are. So obviously this feels very much like a value removal, right? Or a value undermining, value undercut for the people who have bought nodes up to this point and for the people who have bought Rift Watchers up to this point. It also feels very wishy-washy in the sense that, right, we all got excited and hyped about getting SPS or nodes or Rift Watchers just due to that fact, and now that's going to flip on its head, and for a short period of time, hopefully, right, there is going to be a massive discount on both of these items. Massive discount, which people can take advantage of, but if you're out of dry powder because you bought 4 weeks ago when you thought that was the best time to buy, again, the saltiness just is still there. And I'm not talking about myself. Just go read like literally any of the Discord. It's not just me, right? So I understand that, and I'm trying to be objective here. Where this loses me, and I talked about this briefly in the Mav chat, and I hated the fact that I did that because text is just not the best way to go about that, like a text-based conversation. So I want to clarify very quickly here. I said that there's a difference between loss of trust and loss of confidence, okay? Loss of trust, and I know it's semantics, but loss of trust is you not trusting the team in the sense of like, the rhetoric being, oh, this is a scam, this is a rug pull, this is whatever. That's not happening. At least that's not what I'm doing, and I'm not seeing a lot of that in the commentary and sentiment, right? Like, it's not a loss of trust. It's a loss of confidence that I'm seeing. People who were like gonna go to war for trusting blindly that the devs knew what we were doing and where we were going and how to best get there. But now not feeling sure, right? Now people are questioning, right? There was a time period where everybody's sentiment was whatever Yaba says we're going to do, we trust in him, right? And I'm not saying anything negative to Yaba. I think Yaba's brilliant. I think he and very innovative, and I love the way that he is approaching this from a very high level, right? So my issues with this is really just not considering how the community is going to respond before even putting something out. But the way Yaba is going about this, I really love the economy design and where he's heading with it. We just have differing opinions on how to get there. And here's the biggest thing for me, right? And I'm going to put this as probably my strongest evidence that of why I have a loss of confidence now. Less than a month ago, there was a proposal to push SPS rewards up for tower defense packs. And there was a big campaign, a big strong push by Aggie, the founder, to get all the big Mavs and whales within the game to vote for this, because people were originally, it was not going to pass, but there was a big campaign to get them to do this. And the argument was, we need to get DEC back to its peg, and tower defense packs are going to be the thing that do it. Well, guess what? It didn't work. And now they're moving on to, now they're moving on to validator nodes and Rift Watchers. And I'm not saying that it's not going to work, right? That's not what I'm trying to get at here. I'm just trying to impress upon the commentary that I've heard, the conversations that I've had with people who look at what was done within the past month, right? And say, well, they said that this was going to do it, and they kind of, not pressured, but they were very, there was a strong promotional campaign to get everybody to vote for essentially inflating or diluting SPS at a much quicker rate, sooner rate, which most people like myself could live with, right? Because it's like, I don't mind SPS collapsing right now because I want to grab more of it. But there was a strong push to do that. You were going to sacrifice things in the short term, right? Like SPS in order to accomplish that goal. The goal was not accomplished, right? So, or at least these proposals make it seem like they were not accomplished, right? We didn't eat up all that DEC the way that we were supposed to. So the fact that now we're moving to this less than a month later than the proposal for SPS tower defense packs, and less than a month later than the Rift Watcher pack sale, again, it's like this weird mix, this perfect storm of things that just make people have their confidence shaken, right? Because it's like, well, if that didn't work, do we really want to do this? Like, do we know that this is going to work? And now it's the important thing is whether or not it's going to work. It's the fact that people are questioning it, And I think that a healthy amount of skepticism is good, but this is like, I don't know if you would call this healthy. I mean, you have a lot of people who are very upset and emotional about this. And again, rightfully so. I love seeing the passion one way or another. I love seeing the passion because it means that people care. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to highlight here. And again, I'm not saying that this won't work. To now get to the second part of this video is I'm saying that I think that there's a better way. One of which that I feel is a value add to the economy and the game, the player-based community, however you want to look at it, and not a value removal or a perceived value removal that node license purchasers and Rift Watchers purchasers are feeling right now, right? And that's me, right? I have nodes as well as Rift Watcher packs, but again, I'm not the only one. So my solution to this is a promo card. And I'm not the one who came up with this idea, but I do want to run some numbers for it, just to give you an idea of how it could actually play out. Now, the thing is, promo cards traditionally, right? We've only gotten, have we only gotten one, right? Is it just Waka? But promotion cards, because I'm not counting Lux Vega yet, but they tend to be really just whale food is what I call them. They are only for those with deep pockets that can pay $1,000 for a single card. Whereas what I would love to see is a common promo card, something that's still good. It's not going to be OP, but it's going to be common, require 400 BCX in order to max it, and you go ahead and print 8 million copies as single BCX, right? So that makes it available to anybody and everybody, no matter what level they play in. So therefore, it's desirable and something that's attainable or available to the entire community. Now, here are the numbers that I want to run, okay? So if you take one BCX and sell it for 200 DEC, of which that DEC is not going to be company revenue, but it'll burn the DEC. So now you're doing a promo card that isn't for company revenue, but it is for economy balancing. And you print 8 million copies. So 200, right, times 8 million copies, which is in line with the print rate for the Chaos Legion rewards, as well as I think Chaos Legion common cards. But at least the rewards cards, it's the same. Well, all of a sudden, we're looking at 1.6 billion DEC gone like that. Okay, and when I say gone like that, I'm not saying that it's. We may not go through all of it right away, but at least you can take 25% of the total DEC in circulation, which I think is still around 6 billion, and have it go towards something that people actually want. Now, the argument against this is, well, do people actually want it, right? People aren't buying tower defense packs, they aren't buying Chaos Legion packs, so would they actually go for something like this? And the answer is I don't know, but I would say that with the appetite that we have for promo cards, most collectors would want to come in and take this. And most people would look at this and say, well, hey, this is a promo card that's only going to be available for X amount of time or BCX. And so I do want to have at least a max copy of it. Maybe we don't go through the whole 6 billion, 1.6 billion, but we can, maybe they offer several, right? Like maybe if you do one across, here's an even better idea. You do one across each splinter, and then this doesn't need to sell out right away, but you're going to have people come in and want to get these promo cards. I think that this is a much better way. It adds value to the community. It adds value to the game, and it doesn't take away from the people who have already put in hard-earned capital, wherever the case is. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. Again, if you do one across each splinter, multiply this by 6, we're looking at 9.6 billion DEC. There's not enough of that. So maybe you reduce it and say, okay, we're only going to have like 4 million BCX or something. Again, I'm just playing with numbers here, and I'm telling you that people would be interested. I mean, I would want to get some of these, and I would want to start leveling it up. And when you look at the prices, at its current rate, 200 DEC is roughly 12-ish cents, right? Maybe a little under 12 cents, which is in line with where a lot of the higher-end Chaos Legion cards are, the Chaos Legion rewards cards. Chaos Legion common cards is what I meant to say. I think the highest is Deep Lurker, which is 22 cents, and that one deserves to be at the top there. And 200 DEC at its peg is about 20 cents. Now, you go over to the common cards for Rift Watchers, which is a niche set, and those are, the top cards there are above 30 cents. So the fact that you can come in and get a card or set of cards that would be, a set of cards that would be, I don't know. It's just like desirable, but also help balance the game. This is the way that you do it. You don't go in and change stuff that you already put out there, right? Like Rift Watchers, I think you just got to ride it out at this point. I really don't even want to get behind the Rift Watchers thing because that's how it was set out. With node licenses, these are set to go on for a long time. So I don't know, maybe you can find a pivot here, but fundamentally, I don't think that, Rift Watchers should be touched simply due to the fact that you're going to have another set released next year. And so when that set comes around, use that as the way to balance or help balance the economy. With Rift Watchers, as well as Chaos Legion, right? Like the whole burning of packs, I think that stuff just needs to be I think that stuff just needs to be written out. Again, I don't know what other circumstances are going on within the team and all that right now, but this is just kind of the idea that I had for printing more cards, but having them be, sorry, not printing more cards, but printing promo cards that are available to everybody that can eat up a ton of DEC. Most whales are going to try and get in on it, of course, but your regular player base is probably going to buy a ton of it too. And if they end up being good, right, if it's just one promo card or a couple promo cards that end up being decent, like, and I don't want to say meta changing or meta defining because I want them to be common cards and I want them to be available to everybody. But they should be something that everybody wants, right? They should have some kind of maybe unique, crazy ability that only they have, which makes them a promo card and desirable. So that's my idea. I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to be productive and constructive here and offer solutions that I think are way better than what we have here. But again, I'm open to those ideas being either rejected, massaged, torn apart, however you want to do it. I'm going to leave this here, though, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.